In the heart of the lush green savannah, where the baobab trees stretched their arms to the heavens and the winds carried whispers of ancient tales, there lived a young boy named Mosi. His name meant firstborn, but irony wove its thread into his life, for he was neither the firstborn nor a part of any family anymore. Mosi's parents had been taken by a fierce plague that swept through their village when he was just 7. Left with nothing but memories and a small calabash of his mother's precious cowrie shells, Mosi became the village orphan. Orphans were pitied in theory, but seldom embraced. In the village of Kalangwe, pity was often overshadowed by cruelty, and Mosi became the target of the village children's mockery and the adults' cold indifference. Every morning, Mosi woke before the sun, walking barefoot to the stream to fetch water for the elders, who grudgingly allowed him to sleep in a tiny shed behind the granary. The children, led by Dumo, the chief's arrogant son, would pelt him with pebbles and call him names like Mosi the Mouse or Shadow Boy, laughing at his thin frame and worn-out clothes. "Why don't you just vanish into the wind, Shadow Boy?" Dumo sneered one day, throwing a rotten guava at Mosi. The other children erupted in laughter, their voices echoing through the hills. Mosi bore their taunts in silence, his heart heavy, but his resolve unbroken. At night, he would sit under the baobab tree, gazing at the stars and whispering prayers to his ancestors. "Why do they hate me so?" he asked the wind. "Am I not also of this land?" The wind whispered back, but its words were mysteries wrapped in riddles, leaving Mosi to wonder if his ancestors were listening at all. One fateful day, an old traveller arrived in Kalangwe. Draped in a faded kitenge robe and leaning on a staff carved with strange symbols, the stranger introduced himself as Baba Kwame, a griot and healer who wandered the lands. His eyes, though clouded with age, seemed to pierce through the soul. The villagers, always wary of strangers, treated him with cautious respect. Baba Kwame, however, took a particular interest in Mosi. "You carry a weight, young one," Baba Kwame said, sitting beside Mosi under the baobab tree one evening. "But the heaviest burdens often hide the brightest gifts." Mosi looked at him with wide eyes. "What gift could a boy like me have, Baba?" "I am nothing but a shadow." "Even a shadow has its place in the dance of the sun," the old man replied, his voice thick with wisdom. One evening, Dumo and his gang decided to take their bullying to a cruel new level. They lured Mosi into the forest, under the pretense of sharing food. Once deep within the woods, they tied him to a tree, mocking him relentlessly, before leaving him to the mercy of the wild animals. Alone and terrified, Mosi called out to the spirits of his ancestors, tears streaming down his face. Suddenly, the forest grew silent, and a strange glow enveloped the clearing. Out of the shadows emerged a majestic lion with a golden mane. "You have been wronged, young one," the lion spoke, its voice a deep rumble that resonated with the earth itself. "But even in your suffering you have shown courage and kindness. I will grant you a gift." The lion touched Mosia's forehead with its paw, and a surge of energy coursed through him. "You now carry the spirit of the protector. Use it wisely." When the villagers found Mosi the next morning, he was no longer the frail, timid boy they once knew. His presence was commanding, his eyes glowing faintly with an otherworldly light. Word spread quickly about Mosi's transformation. At first, the villagers were skeptical, but when he began performing small miracles, healing a sick child, summoning rain during a drought, their attitudes shifted. The same children who had mocked him now sought his protection. Dumo, consumed by jealousy, tried to challenge Mosi. but his arrogance was no match for the boy who now carried the spirit of the protector. "Your cruelty will be your downfall, Dumo," Mossy said, his voice calm yet firm. "The ancestors watch and they do not forget." Over time, Mossy became a leader in the village, his wisdom far surpassing his years. He taught the villagers the importance of kindness and unity, transforming Kalangwe into a place of harmony. Years later, as an elder himself, Mossy sat under the same baobab tree where he once cried out to the spirits. Children gathered around him, eager to hear his stories. "Always remember," he said, his voice soft yet powerful, "that the weakest among us may carry the greatest strength. Kindness is the seed of greatness, and cruelty is its undoing." The village of Kalangwe thrived, and Moss's tale became legend, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, light could emerge from the most unexpected places. Let me know if you'd like to expand or revise specific parts.